Welcome back, Founding Champions, and this might be the final preview video. Maybe. Final video for previews, and then we're going to start up some real fun stuff. So let's get right into it. Without further ado, we have our first card that I'm going to talk about. I think I talked about these last two cards. Not too much to talk about there. But Reckless Abandon. Reckless Abandon. If you think that card sounds familiar, it very much is. That name has been used across many card games multiple times. I guess that they don't mind just copying it, and it's only set 2. But it is an ability for Chaos. Has to be used by warriors. Remove a highlighted unit to deal 4 damage to your opponent. Okay, this card is much better in this game than it is in other games. Because in other games, you have to sacrifice a unit, usually, that had value still left in the game, usually. In this game, your units, they have no more value once they've activated their last corner. For instance, like this one, or whatever, really. Once they've activated their last corner, that's usually it for most units. So you might as well just chuck it at your opponent. So it's not much of a thing, and there's a lot of last stand effects in Chaos. So, maybe you haven't gotten full value yet, but it's time to chuck it at them anyways. So it's very easy to get full damage out of this. And we do have some units that do damage on their last stand effect. So you can do 4 damage, and then that last stand effect will do 2 more damage. And doing basically 6 damage with this. And with the new card, if I could just scroll up. There we go. Got it. Scarbrand, obviously, it could be pretty insane. So it could potentially do 4 plus 2 from a last stand, plus another 3. So, yeah, do the math. That's going to do quite a bit of damage. Like 9 damage? That's insane. That's insane. Where was I going? There we go. So this card's very good. It's a common. It feels like this should have been a rare in this sort of... I mean, it's got a rare effect. It's just very powerful. But as how the set wants to be made, we're going to make weird cards uncommon, and we're going to make very good cards common, and rares will be like it was a Magic the Gathering Mythic. You maybe want one of them in your deck. So it's really weird. And you're restricted to one in a lot of cases for those rares. Next up, we have a new demon, a spell hunting Fleshhound. We have seen Fleshhounds already, but we have this new Fleshhound. It's kind of weird to just keep seeing the same kind of unit over and over again. There are a lot of demon sort of units in the Chaos faction, so I'd like to see some new ones. I do like the art, though. 2 and then 2. It's a demon unit. Reduce damage received from highlighted units by rotation. Or highlighted spells, excuse me, I can't read. From highlighted spells by this much. Last stand, remove a highlighted spell. It's very, very anti-spell, so very flavorful. It does mix in with the lore. Fleshhounds do like to stop spells. So I'm going to bring those up real quick here. It is in a Chaos. And it's a Khorne unit. So we're going to pull up Khorne. And where is our Fleshhounds? We got 3 pages to go through in total. See, look at how many different units there are. We have seen, these kind of guys, but we're getting the cannon now. We already have the Blood Throne of Khorne as a champion. The cannon, we're going to go over that today. Here goes, Fleshhounds of Khorne. Delicious. Let's see, rules. We'll look at those rules there. And Fleshhounds. Let's make it a little bigger so we can see. Callers of Khorne. So this you can attempt to unbind. So you can unbind spells. Basically, when someone tries to cast a spell, you have a chance to just completely stop it and turn it off. If you roll higher than them. You can reroll failed charges for this unit. You can reroll failed unbinding attempts for this unit if it's within 8 inches of the demon hero. So if you fail your unbind, you can try again. And then Chaos Wizards can summon Fleshhounds. But there are no wizards in Khorne. So if you're a non-Khorne army, you can summon some Khorne demons. Alright, we're going to go ahead and back out of that and go over here. Next up is Moon Clan Netter. Now this card is very insane. I did see this card previous to doing this video. X, 1, then 2, so it does 3, which is underneath the average amount of damage. But it's a unit grot. Gain health. So you're only going to gain 3. That's very, very below average. Did I say damage earlier? I'm all over the place, man. Don't judge me. But you're going to gain only 3. That's not very much. But treat this as a stack of 2 units for stacking and support. So when you play this card down, you're instantly going to have whatever you put on top of it basically having as 2 support. That's pretty good. Skipping an entire support. And that 1 card is basically worth 2 actions because you got to draw it and then play it. So you're going to save 2 actions by playing this guy. That's really, really good. If the rules... so we have a new rules change if you're not tracking already. Basically, you can't stack on a non-stacking unit. But those rules are supposed to go back on November 30. So in 2 days, those rules will go away. But if they make those rules canon, if they make those rules stick, this card's going to be completely useless. You're not going to be able to stack on this. Or they're going to have to give this an errata or something like that. But just think of all the things you can do with this. I mean, obviously, just think, Blood Wolf, Iron Wolf, Chariot, or whatever it is, it needs to can only play it on a stack of 2. Things like that. This card will make much better. Next up, we have Carrick Adept, 2/3 clunky unit. When a highlighted wizard deploys a spell, deal that much damage to your opponent and rotate this 1 step forward. So, when a highlighted wizard deploys a spell, so when you deploy a spell, deal damage to them. So basically this guy will do about 6 damage. It'll do 6 damage. You play him, play a spell, it does 3 right away. Just pretty average, but it's not going to do it by itself, so you could get hosed. It isn't uncommon, though. It might see play in the right deck. And it's very, very... this is a Tzeentch sort of card, a Tzeentch Mortal. So it will... it's very flavorful, and it will see a little bit of play, I think. A little bit of competitive play. Fiery Collapse, 1/1, 1, then 3. Corners 1 to 3 reduce damage received from highlighted units. Corner 4, damage to your opponent. So it's going to reduce damage in 3 lanes for 3 turns, and then 3 damage. And I think that's pretty good. I think reducing damage that long is pretty good. And then also just kind of nugging them for a little bit. I'm not going to knock this card. I like it. It's a common. It's going to see some play. I like it a whole lot. Very flavorful. And look at that art. It's crazy. Look at those little dragon things. And I think it's going to be competitive. Not too competitive, but I think it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to see some play. And it's not going to see, 3 copies. But, I mean, if you do play 1 and play a different copy in the next turn, you're reducing by 3 across those 3 lanes. And 4 lanes in total. 2 lanes of overlap. So, it's pretty good. Next up, Rush to the Front. Another Chaos card. Chaos Ability Warrior. Gain 1 additional action, so you refund half the cost of the card. Move a unit controlled by this champion onto a highlighted disengaged champion warrior. Alright, so that's going to move a guy out of the way, or in the way, or whatever like that, or it's going to readjust your last stand effects. So your last stand effects, a lot of them sometimes has something to do with your opponent, and that can be pretty good. So, again, where's that one last stand remove a highlighted spell? So, it has a lot of function. I don't think it's going to see too much play, though. That gain additional action back, though, can really, really make this card a lot more playable. Next up, we have a Vehicle Demon. I think this is the first Chaos vehicle we've seen so far. It's a blank, 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 then 5. Damage to your opponent. Last stand, restart a highlighted unit. It's pretty average damage. It is a 4-corner card, so it can get up to 7 with that other champion. So when this dies, it can restart a card to the left or the right. So this could potentially do a lot of damage. Get to 5, sack your guy, restart a guy that, like a Demon Bloodletters, it does 6 damage. It does 3 damage. This does 5, sack it, then restart that demon to do a whole another 6 damage. I think it's pretty good. I like it. It might not see too much play, though, because you got to put some work into it. And there's a lot of other good last stand effects as well, but I think this is a very good effect. Next up, we have the Maw. Destruction spell. Rotate this 1 step forwards when any highlighted units are removed. So, any highlighted unit. Opponent, ally, doesn't matter. Rotate it. Then, what is that? 9? 9 damage? That's a lot of damage. So, it's a rare, so you can just straight up do 9 damage to somebody. But if they're moving things, why don't you just remove this? So I don't know. I don't think it's really going to see play. This is a rare that is going to be a pretty cheap rare. It's not going to be that amazing. It's very flavorful, but I think that, it has to be removed. So if your opponent could just simply stop removing things, or you could not draw any removal yourself, it can get pretty rough. So I don't think this card's going to see too much play, in my opinion. Anyways, next up, we have Glimpse the Future. 1/3/1/3. Oh, it's an uncommon. Feels rare. Corners 1 and 3 draw cards. So 1 and 3, you're going to draw 2 cards off of this, completely replacing this card. Corners 2 and 4, look at the top cards of any deck. Any deck. You may rearrange them and put them back on the top of the deck, or shuffle the deck. So you can scry yourself or Fate Seal your opponent, basically. And that could be pretty good. That's pretty good. So scry or Fate Seal, and then draw a couple cards. This card, it just feels good. Because I kind of have a heavy magic background, this is a good card. But time will tell on whether or not we play this card or not. Let's see. Next up, Grasp from the Grave. Can only be played by a Spirit Champion. Rotate up to 2 highlighted units 1 step forwards. So we can screw our opponent that's trying to stack or do damage reduction, or we can speed up our own stuff. So I think that's really good. That's pretty good, isn't it? Right? It's like Call of the Wah or whatever it is. So, or Wah Call, and it's for death. I think it's pretty good, guys. So competitive? Yes, I'd say it would be competitive. Maybe not sort of a 3 of competitive, but it's gonna be competitive. About as competitive as Wah Call. So mildly competitive. And very flavorful. Grasp from the Grave. You're being dragged down, pushed out, kind of. Alright, next up, we got High Tide Ability Wizard. Restart a highlighted spell. I don't think that's too bad. I would like another effect with that. So in a unit, the unit version is restart a highlighted spell, gain 2 health. But you have to be 7 cost or more, so there's no cost restriction on this. But I like it. I like it. This card could be pretty insane in certain situations. Alright, next up, we have a Beast Elf. XX 1 then 2. Remove a highlighted unit. Damage to your opponent. So it's going to do nothing for 2 turns, but it is a Beast Elf, so it goes good with Lotan. And then we're going to not only do damage, but we're going to remove their stuff. So this is an uncommon. Remove a highlighted unit. What? So it's so simple. It's so simple. It's just remove a highlighted unit, damage to your opponent. It's simple and good. This card also feels kind of rare to me, but it's not. I mean, it's kind of balanced out with the X's, but this card's pretty insane. Beast Elf is going to be a thing, okay? I don't see too many people talking about Beast Elf, but it's going to be a thing, guys. It's going to be sweet. Next up, we've got 5 cards left, guys. 5 cards left. Arcane Corrasion? Arcane Corrasion? Is this supposed to be Arcane Corrosion? Okay. Google Arcane Corrasion. What does that mean? Corrasion. Why is this in the way? Why can't I look at this? Let's see. Corrasi. Corrasion. It's a word. It's a real word. Corrasion is a what? term for the process of mechanical erosion of the Earth's surface caused by when materials are transported across by running water waves. Okay. It's like corrosion, but not really corrasion. Okay, that's a new word for me, and I'm college educated, so I like it. XX then 5. Damage to your opponent increases by 1 for each highlighted unit. So for every unit your opponent has, it's going to do an extra point of damage. Why is it? Oh, so it's 5, so you can have it on the left or right and it still gets all the lanes. Okay, so what is that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can do up to 9 damage. I like it. It's pretty good. Common card, so that's what you expect. Next, 2, 3, and 3. When a highlighted champion deploys a spell or unit, deal damage to your opponent. Okay, that's insane. Next, Embrace of Akshi. Deal damage to your opponent equal to the combined value of the highlighted spells. Okay, so you just do a huge math problem and you do damage. Hacking Mornifying Pack, another 4-corner, X3, X and 2, so it does average damage. It's a Beast Ogre, so that's new. It's a Beast and Ogre, that's great. Rend damage to your opponent. And then Barrow's Will, gain 1 health, increases by 1 for each card move to or from your discard pile this turn, and we are out of time, guys. I know those last cards didn't get to too much detail, but honestly, we're all getting kind of tired of these videos. So I do want to thank you for watching. I hope you have an outstanding Founding Champion Day.